Look at this assignment. It's unfinished once again. I don't know if she's just lazy or just has a bad attitude. And I was just talking to your dad, and poof, all of a sudden he just walked off and left me hanging, and now he's watering the lawn. Hi, my name is Addy Peterson, and these were some of the incidents that I personally experienced in my life. And it was through these experiences that my desire to go in a search that led me to getting information about learning disabilities. The purpose of my speech today is to raise awareness about learning differences and learning disabilities, and also to bring light to some of God's traits and characters that can be portrayed in this field of special education. First, I would like to define what a learning disability is, and then we're going to look at some examples of what does a learning disability look like. And then we're going to talk about what traits can be shown through the field of special education, and those traits specifically to God's attributes. What is a learning disability? The National Institute of Neurological Disorder defines it like this. A learning disability is a neurological disorder that affects the brain's ability to receive, process, store, and respond to information. So what does a learning difference or disability look like? Professor Angelotti, a professional in the field of learning differences, made an acronym that will help us remember some of these indicators that we can be looking for. And it's through the word CLAP. So if we can remember the word CLAP, we can remember some of these indicators. The letter C and the word CLAP stands for coordination. This has to do with the fine motor skills of a person. The letter L in the word CLAP stands for language. An example of a language disability would be something like dyslexia. The letter A for attention. In attention, we find disabilities such as attention deficit disorder, more commonly known as ADD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And this is where there's more hyperactivity involved, and the child or the person just can't sit still. An example and an illustration would be of someone with a classic ADHD disability would be Thomas Edison. We know that he was a very fidgety child in class and could not sit still and stay focused. So mom schooled him at home, and of course we know that he's a prolific inventor, and inventors are very commonly found in people that have ADD or ADHD. So the P in the word CLAP stands for perception. A learning disability that has to do with perception could be like when somebody in a social setting it kind of misses social cues that you and I or someone without a disability would notice. In a perception disability with reading, in regards to reading, it could be when somebody's reading content and they transpose a word or they interject a different word because maybe it's easier to read for them. So to recap what we've discussed, we so far have learned the definition of a learning disability. We also looked at examples and symptoms. And now that leads me to the next point, which is describing to you a way that we can show God's values and God's traits in this vocation of special education, specifically dealing with those with a learning disability. A trait that I like to think that I would be portraying as I attempt to go into the world of special education would be God's love, God's unconditional love, a love that reaches out no matter what the person does, is, or what the person looks like. So in summary today, through this presentation, we defined what a learning disability is. We established some of the symptoms and indicated what to look for. And 3, we also talked about God's values and how we can use the vocation of special education as a platform to promote unconditional love. Thank you.